folks say you can't eat well on a tight budget, but baby, I said challenge accepted. With $25, I was able to create 50 meals for my family of 5. And no, we're not talking rice and beans, we're talking chicken, vegetables, burritos, all of that for $25. If you've been trying to save money on groceries without sacrificing flavor, I got you. Let me show you what I bought, how I planned it out, and how you can do the same thing too, even if your budget is tighter than mine. First things first, let's head to the store and get some groceries. All right, so let me break it down. I went into this knowing that I had to make every dollar stretch, like no playing around with this budget. I took $25, walked into the store with a plan, and came out with groceries to feed my family of 5 all of these meals you are about to see. Now, I wasn't buying anything fancy. I just went in there and bought my regular staple items. I focused on protein, veggies, and carbs. Here's my receipt. I spent a total of $25.90. Now let's turn these groceries into meals. For the first meal, I made barbecue baked chicken, green beans, and Bush's baked beans, and it turned out so good, even my picky eater wanted seconds. So first, I started with this barbecue rub. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, a half teaspoon of white pepper, 2.5 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half teaspoon of cumin. This combo right here gives it that sweet and savory flavor. You ever bite into something and immediately start wiggling your toes or start humming? That's what this does. I remember the first time I tried making my own barbecue rub, I was so nervous, y'all, thinking that it had to be complicated. But y'all, I was over here measuring like I was on that show Chop. Now, I eyeball and vibe. That's the key. Get to know your spices like old friends. I pull that skin back and season under it too, because flavor should not stop at the surface. Seasoning under the skin is like telling your food, I love you. I want my family to taste that love with every bite. And yes, I always season with love, even if I'm cooking for people outside of my house. I'm placing these into the oven at 400 degrees for 1 hour. Halfway through, I'm going to brush on some barbecue sauce. But listen, my daughter does not like barbecue sauce, so I'm going to leave a few of them plain for her. That's what I call love and compromise in a pan right there. Speaking of picky eaters, every mom has at least one, but here's what I've learned. It's okay to cook a little differently for your people. Food is personal, and trust me, even without sauce, that seasoning carries the whole meal. My husband and I grew up in an era where you either ate what was on that plate or you didn't eat it all. And y'all, we were sitting there for hours trying to swallow liver and Brussels sprouts, but I said, nope, not in my house. If my child don't like barbecue sauce, guess what? I'll leave a couple of pieces plain. If broccoli makes them gag, I'll swap it for something they will eat. I'm not about to fight at the dinner table every night. The goal is to get them fed, full, and nourished, not traumatized by green beans. Feeding your family should feel like love, not a battle. And if that means tweaking the recipe a little, then that's what we gonna do. So I just flipped all of the chicken legs over, and I'm going to place barbecue on the other side. You want to make sure you get barbecue sauce all over that chicken. Once I get sauce on all of the legs, these will go back into the oven for 15 minutes to finish cooking. Look at this chicken. Full of flavor. I heat up the baked beans, season the green beans, and toss in some leftover sausage from breakfast. Waste not, want not is my motto. And here it is, all plated up, enough to fill everyone's belly, and I still have 2 plates to freeze for later. So altogether, there were a total of 7 plates with this meal. You know what day it is. It is Taco Tuesday, but we're switching it up with turkey burritos. I went with turkey instead of beef because it's cheaper, and once you season it, no one will know the difference. Now, let me tell you about the time I realized turkey could save my grocery budget. I was walking through the store watching ground beef prices skyrocket like these eggs, and then I saw turkey, a whole $3 cheaper, y'all. I figured, why not give it a shot? When you're feeding 5 mouths on a tight budget, it's the small switches or changes that add up, like subbing meat or stretching meals with rice, beans, or veggies. I always say budgeting isn't about sacrifice, it's about strategy. I already had a can of refried beans and tortillas, so if I had to repurchase them, this is how much they would cost. Now let's build these burritos. I layered them with refried beans, queso, turkey meat, and a little sour cream. Some got jalapenos just for the kick. You know, when I started making these burritos, it wasn't even about being fancy. It was about survival. Feeding a family of 5 in this economy, y'all, it takes creativity, prayer, and a little seasoning. I remember standing in that grocery store aisle doing the math in my head, thinking, okay, if I buy this turkey meat, I already have burritos and refried beans at home. I can stretch this into something. And y'all, I did exactly that. I was able to make 22 burritos for less than what we spent on one fast food run. And the best part, my kids love them because even when the budget says no, I can still say, I got you. That's the kind of love that goes into making these types of meals. And a trick for keeping them sealed, I added a little butter before putting them on the griddle. It acts like glue so they don't pop open when you go to flip them. You got to add that butter before flipping these burritos. Don't skip it, friend. Not only does it help them stay sealed, it also gives it that golden brown crispy crust that tastes like a whole extra layer of flavor. It's like the difference between, oh, this is good, and okay, who made these? Trust me, the butter makes it better every time. The finished product, I have 22 golden burritos. This was enough to fill everyone's belly. I tried to include my husband's burritos in the count, but he had already started chewing, y'all. And I have enough meat left over to make 2 more burritos. Next on the menu is oven-baked chicken, green beans, corn, and roasted red potatoes. Now for this dinner, I started with the red potatoes first because outside of the chicken, it's going to take the longest to cook. I'm going to roast half and fry half because in this house we got preferences, and I try to make everyone happy when I can. Once I finish rinsing these, then I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half. This is how many I have left over to make a whole other meal, y'all. You know, moms and wives are really out here doing more with less every single day. Like, we'll stretch $1 so far. We always find a way to turn a little into a lot, not because we have to be magicians, y'all know we are not, but because that's who we are as moms and wives. Whether it's making a full dinner out of pantry staples or figuring out how to make 5 people feel full on 1 pack of chicken, we do it without hesitation. And it's not just about feeding our families. It's about nourishing them. We want their bellies full and their hearts warm. We tweak recipes, cut corners where we can, and somehow still serve meals made with love. It's not always easy, and we don't always get the credit, but you best believe we're doing everything in our power to make sure our families are taken care of, because that's what we do as moms and wives. The seasonings are to taste. Now, the last time I followed a recipe online for roasted red potatoes, it didn't hit at all. They came out so spicy. So I'm going with what I know, which is garlic powder, smoked paprika, onion powder, and black pepper. I was going to use dried rosemary, but opted for chives instead because I'm going to do mine with sour cream and chives. That's the beauty of cooking to taste. You know exactly what tastes good to you and your family. Before I added the seasonings, I did pour a little olive oil, and this helps the seasoning stick to the potatoes. And I did taste it after mixing the potatoes up to make sure that it was to my liking. So you'll see me adding a little more extra seasonings to get it to that perfect flavor. I'm giving this a good mix to make sure the seasonings are well incorporated, and then these will go into the oven at 400 degrees for 1 hour. I poured a little olive oil on my chicken because it's the glue that helps everything stick. When it comes to seasoning, I used just about every single spice that I had in my spice cabinet, y'all. Seasoning chicken is like putting your signature on a meal. You can't just sprinkle salt and call it it a day. I like to layer those flavors like garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, a little Cajun seasoning. I also use adobo and some other seasonings. It was a lot, y'all. That flavor got to be in every bite, not just sitting on top looking cute. Can you believe that I found this whole bag of chicken for $4.70? Jovi's Smart Shop rotates these sales weekly. Like this week they'll have drumsticks and next week they'll do leg quarters, but every other week they have some type of sale on their chicken. Now whenever they have these sales, I grab 2 to 3 bags because I can make these stretch into several meals. Now I know everyone may not have a Jovi's Smart Shop because it is specific to Texas and all stores don't have the same deals, but here's the trick. Check the markdown sections at your local grocery store, especially early in the morning or late in the evening when they're trying to clear out inventory. Now don't sleep on store apps either because digital coupons really help. And if your store price matches, pull that up on your phone and get that discount. It's all about being flexible and knowing when to grab a deal. Study the sales cycle. A little patience and a sharp eye can turn $20 into a week's worth of meals. And in this economy, every little bit helps. There was actually enough chicken left over to marinate for tomorrow's meal. Now I'm using the mesquite marinade, so I did open up a second bag of chicken, washed it, and added a few pieces to the marinade bag. Now how I make these legs stretch is I ration out the chicken. I know that 13 legs total is more than enough for my family. It allows everyone to eat at least 2 legs each, plus have some left over to make additional leftover plates. Now what I'm going to do with the rest of this chicken is bag it up and use it for another meal. The sides that we're eating today were pretty simple. Green beans, corn, and then I am frying up the roasted red potatoes. Now after eating all of this food, my family was full and I had leftovers for 2 more plates. Budget meals that feel like comfort food. That's the goal. And this is some of the food that was left over to make more plates. Next meal is mesquite chicken, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and corn. Now, since I prepped this chicken yesterday, all I have to do is lay it out and bake it. Easy dinners like this frees up so much time for me. Between work, school activities, and trying to squeeze in a moment of peace, dinners like this feel like a life hack. Just a few extra minutes of prep the day before means I'm not scrambling the next day. That's a gift to your peace of mind. You don't have to do everything at once, just one small step at a time. This is how dinner turned out. I did have enough left over to make 2 additional plates, so altogether we had a total of 7 meals. For the final meal, we're having chicken, black-eyed peas, and green beans. Listen, I know these meals are starting to look a little familiar, but when money is tight, the goal is to make sure everyone is full, not fancy. In this economy, I'm learning how to stretch a dollar even further than before because I was really stretching that dollar, but now I'm stretching it like nobody's business. Some weeks we may have to live off of rice and beans. I'm sure if it gets to that point, I will feel bad because they are so used to eating the way they eat. But you know what? My family is fed, they are loved, and they know their dad and I are doing our best. And that's what counts. It ain't about perfection, it's about provision. Today's chicken recipe is the same as the other day. They love that seasoned chicken so much I made it again. Jordan told me that chicken tastes so good with Chick-fil-A sauce. And y'all know I had to give it a try and he was right. It really did taste good with Chick-fil-A sauce. But they somehow found my secret stash and cleared it out, which means I need to go back and get some more and find a new hiding spot. Now, how many of y'all hide food from your family? I know it sounds like big back activity. Big back, big back, big back, big back. But sometimes when you are craving something, you don't want to have to go hunt for it, only to be disappointed when it's all gone. But y'all, these dinners have been amazing. My picky eater only eats chicken and fish, so this was right up her alley and mine because I only had to cook 1 meal instead of 2 all week. But you know, this challenge has shown me that with a little creativity and intention, we can do so much more than we think. And the best part, my family ate good. Full bellies, happy faces, and I stayed within budget. That is a win all around in my book. This wasn't just a cooking challenge. It was a reminder that we're built for this. Us mamas, we are built for this. We know how to stretch, flip, and remix a meal like it's nothing. So y'all, 50 meals, $25, real food, real love, and real results. Let's stop letting these price tags scare us out of the kitchen. We've got stories to tell, plates to fill, and families to feed. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you know someone who could use some grocery budget inspiration, go ahead and share this video with them. And if you are new here, I would love for you to become part of the family by hitting that subscribe button, because I do have more budget-friendly meals coming up. I also have grocery hauls and real life kitchen tips that will help you save money. And hey, drop a comment down below. What is your go-to meal when you want to eat good but on a tight budget? I am curious to know. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.